The Central Bank of Nigeria has again stressed its determination to sustain the supply of dollars to the forex markets to enhance liquidity.
Well, the Apex Bank's acting director of corporate communications, Isaac Okorafor, in a statement of the weekend, said the bank wants to disabuse the notion by market speculators that it wouldn't be able to sustain its intervention. Okorafor said the bank would again earlier this week inject more foreign exchange into the market, while the Apex Bank warned commercial banks and other dealers to desist from sabotaging efforts aimed at making the economy to rebound.
All right, we have our guest right there in Abuja. He'll be joining us to talk about this. We're talking about Gwadabe. He is the head of Association of Bureau de Change of Nigeria. Good morning and thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Yes,
for having me.
Early this year, you actually called on the Central Bank of Nigeria to do all it can within its powers to unify the dollar rates or forex rates, actually. What do you think about what it's doing so far with its interventions? Over $1.something billion pumped into the market already.
Yeah, thank you very much. Like you have highlighted, in early January 2017, we called for a business editor forum with the association, whereby we set the pace for unification and convergence of rate and harmonization of rate. At that forum, we launched the unified rate of 400 Naira to $1. So that forum set the pace for the agitation of a unified and harmonized rate in the market. What we have been seeing also recently in terms of the injection of liquidity into the market is to really save the dwindling fortune of the Naira. There is no any country or any regulator that will allow its currency to float just freely like that. Why America is superpower is not the weaponry that America have, but it's because of the strength of dollar. That is why they have become superpower. So it's also good for any country to ensure that they just don't leave their currency in the hands of speculators. So invariably, we are just witnessing of what I will call an economic war between regulators and speculators. And it is really working. So far, the CBN have injected almost about $1.5 billion into the market so as to address the volatility. What we have seen in the market is totally unacceptable. Naira volatility is too much. People cannot plan. Parents are crying. Jobs are being lost. Industries are closed just because of the foreign exchange rate volatility. And one thing with the foreign exchange is collina. If you allow it to go up, you are also allowing inflation to go up. Yeah. You are also allowing interest rate to go up. So for you to have a balanced macroeconomic economy, you must always be balancing the three variables. Good. So it's a welcome development and it's commendable. Dollar have reached all height of 520 in early January, and the injection have really given the strength to the dollar of about 150 basis points, almost about 18%. Well, so I mean, that is appreciable, it's commendable, and yeah.
Valid points all you have made, but some analysts have doubts over CBN's ability to defend the Naira following the steady decline and the country's foreign exchange, the reserves, of course. Are these doubts?
Yeah, you see, that's another area.
Okay, go on. Whether these doubts are founded on empirical grounds here.
Well, yes, it could be empirical in terms of economical and, in terms of internal and external factors. Yes, Nigeria is a dependent economy. We rely heavily both on our revenue and export, which is the crude oil. And anytime there is a shock, there's always also a repercussion into our own effort to ensure that economy is right. Yes, based on that point, one can say, yes, it's empirical. But however, also, that also a variable have helped them, have helped the CBN. Just in a month, the CBN have raked over $4 billion into the foreign reserve. So that have given them a lot of muscles to ensure that they can sustain whatever they are doing. Also, you see, it's just like a relationship between the root and the fruit. For you to continue to have fruit, you have to take care of the root. The economy is a dependent economy. We rely heavily. Our imports all come from other countries. And when you are a dependent economy, there are always a currency of import. And what is that currency of import? The currency of import we are talking here is dollar. And you cannot control the currency of import. So what do? The CBN, in its own effort and determination, have introduced what we call localization of industries and our product. The Zamfara rice project, or the rice project entirely in the north, the grower rice, is a success. So far, about 8,000 millionaires have been created in Zamfara state. So I think it's good. We are localizing even our millionaires instead of making Indians, Chinese, Malaysians as millionaires from our own sweat. Okay. So that is a plus. Also in terms of infrastructure,
Yes.
Also in terms of infrastructure.
Let me butt in here.
The Kaduna.
Guadabe, if you will. Sorry, let me butt in. Well, you are the Bureau de Change, of course. You are the helm of affairs, and you've been asking for money transfer operators. Or actually, that BDC should be a money transfer operator. You're looking for the diaspora funds and all of that. How is that going to change the fortunes of the BDCs and, of course, the economy in the long run?
In fact, you have touched my heart. Why I'm in Abuja is even to make sure that all the Bureau de Change have become direct agents of IMTO, International Money Transfer Operators Agency. Because you see, Nigeria, the conservative estimate of that remittances, we're talking about $21 billion annually, which is almost 80% of our foreign reserve. In fact, some statistics give it up to $35 billion annually, which is even more than our foreign reserve. So it's a large chunk. If you look at India, India makes $30 billion annually for infrastructure through the diaspora remittance. The whole Lebanon economy is being driven on diaspora remittances. So, UAE, United Arab Emirates, the entire cash need of banks is being made by the Bureau de Change as a result of diaspora remittance. So you can see the global benefit. So if the BDC can be key in, number one, it will enable the economy to raise cheaper funds because diaspora remittances are cheaper. And also, they are stable, even in terms of recession. And the volume is big. So we have to begin to diversify our sources of earnings. And the diaspora remittance is key. I'm happy a lot of stakeholders are putting interest into it. The ICPC chairman is working. He's already talking to German diaspora in Germany. A lot of collaboration is taking place. And the BDCs and the association, we are also working to ensure that we raise cheaper funds. Right now, even what we are getting from CBN is not really from the foreign reserve. It's this proceed of IMT also. So it's important, it's key, and we are doing automation of our members because one of the key criteria, you have to be technologically okay, you have to have computer, you have to have network, you have to have compliance officer. So all this the association is doing, we have gone almost 60-70% of our automation that will make us to be competitively globalized.
All right, I mean, I'll still come back to that question of operators bringing funds. While some analysts believe that asking banks to sell invisibles, to sell forex for retail invisibles at 360 to the dollar, is CBN showing their capacity, to defend the Naira? Others posit that CBN is just subsidizing Nigerians. How do you see this?
You see, I want to digress a bit. Subsidy is different. We are talking of sovereignty of our currency. And like I've said before, no country, no regulator will just allow speculators to kill its own currency. So what the CBN is doing, to me, is not subsidy. It has been done before, and this time with a lot of discipline, with a lot of fiscal discipline, with a lot of localization, with a lot of removal of disparity. One of the challenges the CBN has been having before is a disparity in applicable exchange rate. The banks are buying at different rates, the BDC also buying at another rate. But that has been collapsed. Both the banks and the BDC are buying almost at the same rate now.
Yeah.
So the elimination of that harmonization is also key to ensuring that the Naira remains sovereign. Also, there is the success recorded is as a result of combination of many behaviors. I also give kudos to the security agencies, because to me, it's not even the 1.5 billion that the people are saying for injection, but honestly, it's the eagle eye of the security. We will have a situation before whereby about $30 million on daily basis are being freighted through our air borders and land borders. Yes, and that now has been reduced drastically, and that's why by almost 80%. And that's why we have not been seeing frivolous demand in the industry again in the market.
All right, so
that has really helped also in ensuring the value of the Naira.
Yeah, how do you explain that right in the midst of the CBN's intervention, pumping in millions and millions of dollars, about $1.5 billion already? Last Friday, the Naira took a nosedive, and Monday it
got back again.
Yeah, so how do you explain that as speculators that strong?
To me, there are two factors.
Yes.
One, the CBN have already explained it. That is the resistance of banks. In fact, if I'm the CBN governor, I will stop banks from selling invisible transactions, because these are retail transactions. The bank should concentrate on mega and wholesale transactions. The BDC should be empowered to exclusively be doing the invisible transactions, not the banks. So we've seen the resistance of banks, which the CBN have also been refuting. Banks say they don't have money, they don't have liquidity. CBN have not been giving them the money. We have seen other versions of where they are convincing clients to take a debit card instead of cash. And debit cards are normally at about $3.75, $3.80 to $1.
All right.
So these are some of the things, resistance.
Let's look at this. Let's just briefly look at this. One of the factors that have seriously contributed to the poor liquidity and attendant another weakness is the sparsity of foreign investors. What will be the best approach for the government?
We started experiencing cash flight since during the 2015, when we have to have election. About $80 billion have gone out by investors. And up to now, the level of confidence of investors on our economy is still not encouraging. Except now when even we have commendation from the IMF, we even have the World Bank have earmarked billions of dollars for Saharan Africa, which Nigeria is also inclusive. So we have that problem. And also remember, like I've said, Nigeria is an import-dependent economy. Ab initio, we don't have more than 10 importers in this country in the 80s. The likes of UAC, PZ, and what have you. No more than 10. Every other company, every other person is a distributor. But now Nigeria, with about 170 million people, conservatively will have about 100 million people as importers. So our trade policy also needs to be reviewed. Okay. Localization of our industries need to be continued. Yep. We have been seeing it in rice. The refineries are coming up in 2018. In fact, Nigeria is going to be great. We really need to be careful in terms of going into activities that are not solid. Because the present government is building the pillars, is building the confidence, is building the discipline.
So it's only a question of great.
Very soon.
I love that
all
one. So we can take that one from me. I mean,
yes,
Nigeria is going to be great.
Absolutely.
That's a good point.
You can take that to the bank.
Yeah, you can.
Aminu Gwadabe, thank you so much for your time and your insights. Of course, Aminu Gwadabe is the president or chairman of the Association of Bureau de Change of Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining us.